Listen, if you plan on having any type of success as a small business entrepreneur, that success in 2025 and beyond is not going to be based on what you think is important to your mind. It's going to be based on what we know to be important to the market. And there's a fundamental difference between what's important to your mind and what's important to the market. So let me explain how this works. As entrepreneurs, we feed our minds with ideas, with egotistical filled thoughts and theories that's not really grounded and rooted in reality. We have this idea, we turn this idea into a product, we turn this idea into a service, we package it in an LLC, we get a logo, we get a domain, we get a website, landing page, and we go out into the marketplace thinking that we're going to crush it, and it almost never happens that way. So what was the disconnect? The disconnect wasn't necessarily the market as much as it was a disconnection with our mind, because you went to your mind checking to make sure that you were okay with what you had in your mind about that business, about the product, about the service. You never really went to the market to see what was important to the market before you checked the boxes with these thoughts in your mind. I actually think that business owners should focus on buying businesses rather than building businesses, but that's for another video. What I want to explain to you in this video is this. If you're building a business from scratch, before you put all this time and energy and effort and money and resources and stress behind putting products and services together that are important to your mind, I believe it's more important for you to test those ideas in the market, because the success of your small business as an entrepreneur will not come from what you think is important to your mind as much as it will from what is important in the market. Now, I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years. In 2003, 22 years ago, my wife and I decided that we were going to be full-time entrepreneurs. We've never looked back. It has been one of the most rewarding decisions we've made, but it has been extremely difficult. Think about it. 2003, we didn't have smartphones the way we do now. We didn't have social media apps. We didn't understand digital marketing and AI and Chat GPT and all these features that we use to make our businesses a little better. It was just me rolling up my sleeves like this, getting out here in the marketplace, knocking on doors, making calls, emailing people, trying to figure out what I needed to do to just make some money today. And guess what? In today's world, to some extent, small business entrepreneurship is even harder, because even when you do have a bright idea, even when you do have an amazing product or service to offer, it still needs to be important to the market, no matter how important it is to your mind. I've had to make a lot of adjustments. I've had to pivot many times within the last 22 years. And guess what? The adjustments that I've made, the pivots that I've made were totally different from what I thought was important to the marketplace in my mind, meaning that products that I brought to the market were not important to the market. Services that I offered the market were not important to the market. And I reached a point in my own maturity where I got my ego out of the way and I started testing the market first to determine what was important to the market. So if you have a product that you're selling, a service that you're providing, you need to be open, you need to move your ego out of the way, and you need to challenge yourself to test the market first. As a matter of fact, now that I'm in the world of private equity, I was speaking to a gentleman who has been in private equity for about 15 years to my 4 or 5 years since I've been introduced to this new industry. And he was talking about how if someone comes to him, a founder, a business owner, with an idea for a product or for a service, whether it's a physical or digital product or service, if they come to him wanting him to be an investor in their small business as founders, he demands that they go to the market and find at least 100 people who fit the perfect profile as a customer or a client. Think about that. Think about that. He demands that they get in front of at least 100 people, have conversations with 100 people to determine if what they are offering as a product and or a service is important to the market, because the market is not Facebook or YouTube or TikTok. The market is in that platform or those platforms, but the market is not the digital platform as much as it is the habits and the behaviors and the mindsets and the needs and wants and demands of the people who are on those platforms.